Alright, so here's a Jeskai. It's basically twin deck, but it's using Kikijiki and Saheeli Ray, or however you pronounce it. And let's see, I keep it because I have the Lantern Lock, and I have these to help me live until a bridge, and then something to help me dig to a bridge if I need to. And I am playing against an unknown opponent. So it should be relatively good overall. On top of that, I am going first, so not too bad. I can play the Lantern. It shouldn't matter what they draw, because no matter what, I should be able to discard it or kill it if they play it on turn 1, or whatever they draw. Alright, so, oh yeah, opponent molds, because they only had one land in their hand, an island. Opponent mold again, unfortunately. This hand right here is not so bad, but you might notice, let's see, they got Remand, Serum Visions, and Kiki. Remand and Serum Visions I can discard with the Collective Brutalities, and then Kiki does nothing until they get 5 mana. They're currently at 2. Since I have the lock in my opening, I should be able to keep them off of 5 mana. But we'll see how that plays out as we go in. So Lantern, and they end up getting a Nahiri. Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to discard that with Collective Brutality. Should be okay though. Still, I am still running 2 Needles and 1 Grafdigger's Cage in the main. Excuse me. And they're still kind of rough there. Now, let's see. Yeah. Alright. So they keep a Serum Visions on top, which is fine. I'm not too worried about it. So what I want to do here is I want to make sure that they have... I've basically seen what they're playing because of all that, the fetching and Serum Visions and all that stuff. So what I'm looking for now is to somehow be able to minimize, what they're playing, or the effectiveness of what they're playing. So I immediately go for this plus the Ancient Stirrings, because I know they got 5 cards in hand. I know about the Nahiri, so I know that with that Nahiri they need at least 3 other lands in their hand in order to cast it. So I'm pretty sure I know that they have Scalding Tarn in hand too. Look at my top 5. Grafdigger's Cage is the best thing I could get. The rest of them there was a Whir, Lantern, 2 lands, and the Cage. So I grabbed the Cage because that shuts off Nahiri. So fortunately, the next card they have is Restoration Angel. So I'm fine with that. Again, I know they have 4 cards left in hand. One of them's a Nahiri, so they have to have at least 2 other lands in hand, and even to get anywhere near being able to use it. Plus, Restoration Angel isn't going to be great unless they have like a Saheeli or something. And by that time, I should be able to do something about it. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can just keep them off of lands if I can. I'll give it a shot. Alright, so they're keeping the Remand on top. They're still not seeing the whole play about keeping them off of lands, apparently. So I go for the discard. See their hand. Remand is the only thing I can take, but I do see, okay, they have just an island at this point. So if they fetch, if I can keep them off of a land after they fetch, then I am in great shape. And I go ahead and play out the Grafdigger's Cage as well. So they go for the fetch, and there's another fetch there. So unfortunately, at this point, I'm like, okay, well, they drew their 4th land. But I can still do decent by using Ancient Stirrings to get rid of to get a Lantern a Needle if I need to, or a Bridge, because I know my opponent can't counter it. So Nahiri's already shut off thanks to Grafdigger's Cage, and the infinite combo of Kikijiki and Restoration Angel one, is going to take a while because they still don't have mana for Kiki, and two, I will be able to either get a needle or a bridge by that time, most likely. I do make a misplay here, I think. So it's because I remember there was a remand on top, and I thought that they drew the remand. So I thought they still had a remand in hand as well. I didn't keep track very well. That's also why I did the Collective Brutality here. Really, I should have kept the Brutality up just in case. But I thought they drew the remand, and I wanted them to not be able to remand my stirrings because I wanted either another mill rock or a needle or something. I'm like, crap. So, good reason to why to keep better track of what's in the opponent's hand. I should have just scrolled up and looked at this, and that would have told me what they have in their hand. Now, with the stirrings, fortunately, I am able to grab a needle. So here, there's a couple of lines of play. If the opponent fetches, then I can name Kiki Jiki and then they're stuck with Nahiri trying to draw cards. If they don't fetch, then I can name the fetch land and keep them on 3 lands and probably win that way. And so they decide not to fetch, so I name Flooded Strand. Of course, it doesn't just shut off this one, it shuts off the other 2 that are still in their library as well. So normally, if they're running like 23, 24 lands maybe, I just shut off 3 out of those. They're left with 21 lands, and they already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 they've gone through. So let's say 24 lands. They've gone through 6, so they're at 18 lands. Now they need 18. They need to be able to draw those 18 lands around a Gold Caller's Bell. So they're going to really be relying on good Serum Visions and whatnot to get those lands. Again, this is something I've covered before, but the Serum Visions, a lot of people will mill the Serum Visions. It is not correct in this specific scenario specifically, because basically I'm forcing my opponent to pay a blue mana to get their draw step, because either way they're going to draw a card. But this way, I'm forcing them to use a blue mana to draw a card. So they go to try to draw, and I mill in response. Sure enough, they get another 4-drop. I'm like, okay, good to go. Oh wait, no, they got a Saheeli. How'd they get a Saheeli? Oh, I guess that just went so quick. But yeah, they got a Saheeli, sorry, they got a 3-drop. So, okay, so that at this point, yeah, I remember this. They can try to use Saheeli, but they can't even cast it yet. So I just still have to get another Needle or an Abrupt Decay, or I could even get Engineered Explosives and shut off Saheeli. But really, they don't have the combo until they can play Restoration, or even Restoration Angel doesn't do it. So they still don't have the combo. Saheeli at best is at like 17 turn clock against me. And it's a sorcery speed Scry, which does nothing, because I can just mill it at end of turn if I need to. Now I have another Shredder on top, so that's really going to help cement the draw, or the, not the draw, but the lock. Tremors isn't going to do squat. Is it? Each opponent. Okay, so it doesn't target. I didn't even think to read that earlier. So yeah, I let them have the Felidar Guardian because they are not getting that 4th mana. I considered milling it, but I'm happy I didn't in hindsight because there's a falls on top. So here's Saheeli. Ouch. Dealt the damage to me. And mill off that top card. I don't want them to have the Wall of Omens either, because they'll be able to blink the wall and draw cards. I don't want them to be able to do that. And I have a 2-rock lock, so it's pretty safe to just mill the wall as well. And the Impact Tremors could seriously hurt as well. So, mill, there's a Saheeli. Now, Saheeli's a dead card. I know they have no draw in their hand. So at this point, I'm going to use my Shredder on myself to try to dig to more rocks to solidify the lock. And of course, I get one. I mean, if I get another mill rock or a whir or an ancient stirrings, I'm pretty good. There's a lot of live cards in my deck. And there's a lot of dead ones in the opponents. And again, I'm still using my cards to mill myself to try to get a better lock. I don't need bridge, so forcing my opponent to pay a blue to draw a card. Yeah. Don't want my opponent to have that plains. And I'm not worried about the remand. So I know they have another Saheeli. I figure they probably, even if they tried to ult Saheeli, it wouldn't work because Grafdigger's Cage makes it so they can't grab a creature with Saheeli. So unless they have some crazy artifact I didn't know about. Yeah, again, going for Saheeli, I take a point, sure. Milling, keep my opponent off of lands again. And again, I'm not worried about remand. Another needle. Their opponent's tapped out, so I just named Saheeli. So at this point, the lock is really set. I did not use Bell at the end of my opponent's turn because I want to try to keep solidifying the lock a little bit more because I still have some lands. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they run 24, that gives them like 13 left in the deck. So they have 13 lands in the deck, and they have to get what 7 in a row in order for them to get one more land. So yeah, I'm fine with them doing the remand because they're basically helping my clock and they're spending mana to do it. So now they have to have 9 in a row. And they have maybe about 13 left in the deck. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to minus those two. So they have 11 left in the deck, and they have to have 9 in a row to break the lock. And then I still have 2 shuffles after that. They tried to add a counter to Saheeli. I was like, no, you cannot. Go ahead and play the bridge. Again, let my opponent use the remand. They're going to draw a dead card anyways. And that'll help me, mill some more. I am not worried about that bolt at all. Yeah. I don't worry yet. Yeah, 2 of these in a row. I was like, man. But I mean, I guess they're still not going to get it. I did X equals 3 just in case, just to give myself more options. And I decided to just go ahead and get a bell anyways to solidify the lock. I do have to worry here because if I do let them have a creature, which I'm going to not let them have, but if for some reason they're able to get a creature, they can path it and hit that 4th mana. Yeah, and at this point, like, I know that Flooded Strand is a dead card, but let's see. Okay, let's do the land count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 18 right there. That's about to get milled. 18 out of 24 lands probably. They have 6 left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. They have to have 11 in a row. I know for sure I have the lock now. Like, it's not even close. And, oh, another rock. Opponent decides to play it out, though, which is fair. I mean, I have no problems with that. So now you'll see that I am freely milling. I could have drawn the Engineered to wipe out the Impact Tremors, but they're not going to do anything. So milling out. So now I just untap, mill again. Draw my card, play a land, pass turn, opponent concedes. And they leave the game instead of a game 2. But anyways, so yeah, it's a decent game.